shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember. I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah! You're declare your independence. Me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, IA from the BEA beautiful studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com. Today we're going to be talking about a festival, a Liberty Festival, Liberty Fest West in Texas, of all places. Now, what we're going to do is, you've been seeing a lot of the ads on Freedom's Phoenix promoting this, and if you look at the lineup, now we have both on Skype, we got Ben Farmer, and then let me get my glasses on, what I really need, bigger print, and Caleb Leverett on the phone. Now, libertyfestwest.com, and you can go and get all the details. We'll talk to him here in a minute. But I tell you, let me give you some of the lineup here. This is going to be... Now, the lineup is, right off the bat, you can tell you're going to be having some fun, and we'll talk about, the venue and such. But we got Richard Mack. We know about him. Jacob Hornberger, Jordan Page, Pete Iyer, from Liberty on Tour. Oh, let's see some of the other names that we know. There's a bunch of John Bush, Catherine Bleich. It just goes on and on. Some of these people I know more than others. I got another Page. Oh, my goodness. Stefan Molyneux from Toronto. This is going to be a Kokesh. So this is going to be, and that's just like a third of the speakers. So I'm really looking forward to hearing all about this. Tell me, Ben, I'm looking at what here? Is this the beginning of a regular thing that you're putting on? Something that you're wanting to continue each year? You're trying to have an impact in Texas, and why Texas?
Well, why Texas? Because we grew up here in Odessa, Texas. Thanks for having us on, by the way.
Pleasure.
Yeah, we'd like to do this every year. I think what you're seeing here is just the tip of the iceberg. This area is excited about this. This is the kind of area that would really appreciate it, and we couldn't be more excited right now.
Okay, now tell me about it. Why Texas? I know there's when all's up in price, they be making some money. So you got some people with some cash there, and but it's Odessa, isn't it? Where's it at?
Yeah, Odessa. It's in the western part of the state, just close to the border of New Mexico.
And what's the date?
The date is February 11th. It's tomorrow, Saturday, at the MCM Grande Hotel in Odessa, Texas.
Wow.
You asked me why Texas. Texas has a long history of individualists, people who have a healthy distrust for authority. And then being out here in Odessa, it's kind of always been kind of an outpost. These are people who expect to be able to handle their own community their own way. And you're right. Right now there's an oil boom, so there is more money out here than there usually is. And I think it's just a general attitude of people in West Texas wanting the government to leave them alone.
I vote that, and I spent a couple of years in Texas, and how old was I? I was 21, 22 there for a year going to school and stuff, and I'll tell you, Texas be different. It's Lone Star, it's Lone Star, as in leave me alone, and they could break, it used to until they had that Grant versus Lee thing, but they go, we can just break off as our own country. That's why they call it the Republic of Texas. We can break up into 5 states and get 10 senators. Don't mess with Texas. So, and they know all about it. I remember the song in the early 80s that was popular on radios. Let's see, how'd it go? It went, drive 75 and freeze them alive, freeze a Yankee. Drive 75 and freeze them alive. Because they're saying, look, man, if we went off, we'd have the number 1 football team in the world as a country, and we would be number 5 oil producer or something. So Texas has the ability to be self-sustaining a lot more. And I think they know it, and it's just they're subsidizing the rest of the planet, and they don't like it none too much, certainly when it comes to taxes and everything else. Let's go ahead and go to Caleb. Push the button. Caleb, help me out, man. Tell me, what's your involvement in this? Why is this important to you?
It's been very important to me because I've seen myself and my family and my community have so many layers of government's boot on their throat, and we're trying to do our best to help educate our community what liberty is. Liberty is not what the Republican Party says it is. It's not what the Democrat Party is. To me, liberty is you own yourself. Nobody else owns you. You don't own anybody else. It's a crying shame that for so long, or here, especially here recently, so many people, when they have problems, their first instinct is to go to government to fix it. Government, we don't like this. We'll pass a law and fix this. Government, we don't like this. Pass a law so you can fix it. Everybody says they don't trust government, and yet their first instinct here lately is to go to government to fix it, and that's the absolute wrong thing to do because everybody knows government just almost always screws everything up.
And what's your solution? I mean, that's a good point. I mean, we'll sit there and complain about how government's messing this up, and the first thing they do is they want some kind of absolution from government to vote for their kind of government. We're going to get the right guys behind the lever of power in the government. We're going to make sure that government's under our control to rule you. It's all about the government. But this mindset's changing, and a lot of the people that you have on your list of speakers for Liberty Fest, I get the impression that the shift is getting to where maybe we just it's like don't tread on meme, don't tread on meme.com. It's all the silver stuff, and the concept is you can audit the Fed, you can end the Fed, or you can just ignore the Fed. I'm for this ignore thing, man. I vote ignore. And a lot of the speakers that you have, they're kind of, even the ones that aren't. I've known these people for, some of them decades. Like Sheriff Mack and I go back to 94. And I tell you, they're coming around to start to understand that government in any form has got its problems.
Yes, and I'm glad you asked that. What is my solution? I get that a lot from people around here, from the activism I do around here. They say, well, Caleb, what is your solution? And it's real simple. We're demonstrating my solution. We're talking with each other. We're talking to our friends and our neighbors. In particular, in our local community, Odessa, a lot of people are trying to get the local city council to pass a law banning texting while driving. And that fortunately got defeated. I spoke up against it, and I was asked that very question. Well, what's your solution to this problem? Do you not see that it's a problem? And I say, I absolutely see it's a problem. The way we fix it is we talk to our neighbors. We talk to our kids. Son, have you seen all this texting while driving, all the crashes that have happened? I don't want you doing that, okay? It's for your own safety. Walk out when you're watering your yard, talking to your neighbor. Hey, did you hear about the crash they had? Man, that's sure a dangerous thing. We don't need, it'd probably be a good idea to not text while drive.
And when things do happen, there's, libertarians are big on this. Hey, man, yes, something happened. Yes, you violated someone else's life, liberty, property. Yes, you injured someone. Yes, you should be held accountable. And it's always, yeah, but I was texting. Hey, you're confusing me with someone that cares. Yeah, but I was drunk. You're confusing me with someone that cares. That what damage was done. There needs to be. See, it's always about excuses. And they need, and if they, got a really good excuse, well, we need to make a law so we can, prevent whatever excuse. They don't really understand in a libertarian world, it is the regulator. That's what Dr. Paul keeps going on about. He goes, the free market is a greater regulator. It regulates behavior because there's pain and punishment in a free market and in a free society. Same kind of thing. Yep, freedom. Freedom's the answer. What's the question? We're going to be talking about more people talking about freedom at Liberty Fest West. LibertyFestWest.com. We're going to be right back here on Declare Your Independence with my new best friends, Ben and Caleb. We'll be right back.
Arizona has been one of the hottest real estate markets in the past, up until the last couple of years. Homes that were once going for $500,000 to $1 million in prestigious areas are now going for less than half of what the original purchase price was. That makes it a very good time to buy. So if you were ever thinking of retiring to Arizona's inviting climate and laid back and friendly lifestyle, now is the time. That's where I can help. This is Donna Hancock with Brangus Realty, and I have provided a way for you to search for properties that are of interest to you, all at your own convenience and without having to give out any personal information. Visit my webpage at donnahancock.com to start your search today. And when you're ready to make a move to Arizona's warm and sunny climate, please feel free to call or text me at 602-828-1819. Many are working hard to make sure Arizona is not only a beautiful place to live, but a free and peaceful one as well. So what are you waiting for? Make your move today by calling 602-828-1819. And don't forget to visit my webpage at donnahancock.com.
This is novelist Tom Robbins. When my mother was diagnosed with glaucoma, her conservative Virginia physician told her there was only one treatment that might ease her pain and save her eyesight. That treatment was medical marijuana, which he could not prescribe. I offered to get her some, and
Okay, is there anything you guys want to make sure gets in before the end of the show? What are we going to be talking about? We can talk about Texas itself, what's happened there. We can talk about the fest. We can talk about, and I read off some names that were invited, not necessarily confirmed. So I need to clear that up too.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Go ahead and tell me, is there anything you want to make sure we get into?
Go ahead, Ben.
No, we just want to talk about how to buy tickets and all the normal stuff.
All right.
Yes, there's the VIP tickets are what we're pushing now. There's all the speakers are coming in early tonight, and there's a special VIP dinner with the speakers.
All right, cool. We'll get to it.
About healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
If you can't listen to the Liberty Radio Network's internet streams, free satellite channel, or radio affiliates, no worries. You can listen to LRN.FM from any phone, anywhere. Add this number to your phone, 760-569-7753. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling plan. The Liberty Radio Network listen lines are locked on our stream 24 hours a day. Call 760-569-7753. That's 760-569-7753.
Agents of the state are threatening your freedom. Become a free agent and take it back. Google FR33 to get connected with other men and women around the globe who are united against state aggression and who are committed to not violent revolution, but peaceful evolution. It costs nothing to rally others to your causes by starting websites, creating and joining groups, and more. Stay up to date on the global movement for liberty by reading, watching, and listening to reports from our growing network of free agents. Free agents who work to achieve a free society can receive points for various activities which can be redeemed for gear such as clothing, cameras, and more. You can directly invest in the projects you care about right now so that free agents can get the valuable support they need. States are going to fail, so get off the sidelines and join other free agents on the front lines of freedom today by visiting fr33agents.com.
You can interact with other LRN listeners in our message board at forum.lrn.fm. That's forum.lrn.fm.
Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
No roads, no roads, no roads. They must have went to Texas. You flying over Texas, it's all land and cows and oil rigs. Well, in Odessa, it's definitely. I've been through Odessa. Anybody been through Odessa or Midland around it? Oil rigs, man. It's you just see that black gold pumping, saying, we making us some money. Well, we got LibertyFestWest.com, Liberty Fest West. They're out there going to say, you know what you should do with y'all money? You should come get a VIP ticket to come in tonight to meet with all the people that come speaking. And they're going to be there tonight, and you get to have a dinner and hang with them. And so I tell you what, in West Texas, how many times you get an opportunity? And this is a big shindig put on by Ben and Caleb. Now, Ben, let me go ahead and push your buttons here. Ben, tell me, this is something that it's probably a rare opportunity for the people around there. How have they heard about it locally? How do they know? You passing out flyers in oil rigs, are you, or signs, or what? How do they know?
Yeah, well, we did the normal tour of town. We're selling tickets at a bunch of the locally owned businesses. We're of course we're giving interviews on radio stations, TV stations. One of our guests has actually purchased TV time for us. There's been a tremendous response out here. Word of mouth has been spectacular, and then of course through shows like yours.
Well, what kind of crowd are you guys expecting?
We're expecting to have a little over 1,000 people out there tonight.
A thousand! Holy moly! Caleb, is this a success for you? I mean, is this kind of what you're hoping to get? 1,000 people enough, or no? I want 5,000.
Well, we're capped out at about 1,000. The ballroom is only 11,000 square feet. So, as far as a success, yes, it is a success for Ben and I, but more importantly, it's a success for our community. We're hoping that 1,000 people show up and are just absolutely blown away by the liberty message they're going to get from all these people. And when they're done, take it to their homes and talk to their neighbors and their friends about what they've just seen and say, hey, we've been lied to. I just heard something, and I've looked it up, and these guys are telling the truth.
That is, how did you wake up? I mean, tell me a little bit about Caleb. How old are you? When did you become aware, and why are you so involved?
I'm glad you used that term, waking up. I woke up, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, only about 2 or 3 years ago. I was dyed-in-the-wool Republican Party hardliner. I thought if Rush Limbaugh said it, then it was God. Once I woke up, I had to almost apologize to the people that I'd spoke to politically about, because now I understand what that awakening is, and realizing that I own myself and my neighbors own themselves, and I don't want to own them. I don't want to run them, but I certainly don't want them running me either.
Okay, now this is something of interest to me. All right. Why were you so entrenched in this? Because you're not alone. I mean, the vast majority of a lot of people that call themselves Republicans are doing that, certainly, but it's kind of unusual at such a young age to be, well, I guess not. I mean, it's hard for someone like us to understand that if you really care about, and even a little bit of the truth, especially with the internet, it's not that hard to find. And you found it. I mean, you're like, hey, man, I get it, damn. But I'm wondering, for the audience and for your friends and for the other people that you want to get absolution from, you're going, I was locked in to that mindset because what? What was it?
As far as what woke me up?
No, what kept you from being woken up? I mean, why were you locked in? What kept you in prison? What?
That's simple. People are easily influenced, and it's a sad thing whenever the media is taking advantage of that. The typical, not you and not the awakened ones, but the typical conservative talk radio mafia likes to pretend like they're not part of the mainstream media, such as Fox News or MSNBC or CNN, when they're being all pulled by the same puppeteer. All their strings are being pulled, and they're keeping... Okay,
what strings? Now, see, we're getting in it. You're right. There's something going on. We just found out last night that they're canceling Freedom Watch with Judge Napolitano.
Yes, I heard that.
And I'm going, okay. Now, Dr. Paul, I was in Washington. We met right when they were first going on, and Stossel there and so on. And he was very excited about, this change in culture, about Judge Napolitano having this spot on Fox and so on. And I'm, it's a sign of a shifting culture. Now, the first thing my wife said, we put a silver lining. I go, well, that's just because he needs to be freed up to run for pee with Dr. Paul. And I'm going, yes, it does. That's good. That's good. So there's all, it's like, yeah, don't think that wasn't on our mind. Judge Napolitano, Colonel Karen Kwiatkowski, either one of them make me grin and get another urge out of me. But the thing is that when we have the people that are kind of locked in, and they have this mindset that you're regurgitating O'Reilly, and Hannity and Limbaugh and all this kind of stuff. I'm wondering what is the kernel of, I don't know, passion or truth or something that gets you to do that without questioning their premises. I mean, because once you understand, like you say, you own yourself. Once you understand that, heck, 93.7% of the crap that they spew is just BS. And I'm going, what was it that got you to that shift, and what was holding you back? I'm really more interested in what was holding you back, and what was it that broke you free from it? What was it? Was it Dr. Paul's speech, talking to Ben? What?
Yeah, I think I can answer that question. I think it's really kind of sick how the American conservative media has somehow hijacked morality. And they somehow say that they're the most moral way to do things. Of course, as good human beings, we all want to be on the side of morality.
Hey, Ben, move back just a little bit. You're overmodulating just a little bit. Move back. It's a little bit too loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go, right there.
There we go.
Yeah, go ahead and try that.
So, we are good human beings. We want to be moral. But you have to take a step back and question what do you think is being a good human being? And, of course, if you really examine that, you're left with two things, which are the equality principle and the non-aggression principle. And after you realize that that's what the basis of all core morality is, then you have to start questioning what American conservative media says. The mainstream media is
but where do they get that
propaganda machine?
Where do they get that from? I mean, initially they're exposed to this, but from where? I mean, it's like, Dr. Paul helps. The kind of work that you're doing helps. A lot of things. But I'm wondering, it's like they never heard this before. I guess not. I mean, there's a bunch of libertarians. I've been out here 20 years screaming, and it kind of builds a foundation. We have a lot of head start here in Arizona, but I'll tell you, there's something about Dr. Paul being up there. I guess his age bracket, his method, he has definitely changed from his earlier days. In 88 when he ran, he was much more impassioned. Now it's, he's kicking the dirt and golly gee shuck and gee willikers, can't we all just be free? And it has an impact coming from him. And when we come back, we'll go right to Ben, because I want to finish this conversation, let you finish your thought, because this is important. This is what is important to me. What is locking people in, chains around their brain? And how do they get free? Well, they're helping LibertyFestWest.com. If you're living in West Texas or thereabouts, you need to go by. And VIP ticket tonight.
If you want to move to the free state and you...
Okay, that's what we'll do when we come back. We'll go right to you, Ben. I really want to drill in on this.
Sure.
And I know, Caleb, for you, it's like, I don't know, I just, I read the right pamphlet or something. I mean, is there some... one defining moment that you kind of went, oh, okay, I got to change.
Yes, there is. I heard Deborah Medina.
All right, I don't want to hear about it off air. I want to hear about it on air. Okay, so when I come back, I'm just, I want to hear about it on the air, and you can tell me all, your revelation of, because this is what's important. See, your event is important and everything, but if they don't understand the motivation behind it and the people involved and kind of, and they can see the thread of walk that you made, then you're only getting to the choir and regurgitating people that already know. You want to be a pathway for them, look, this is what I know and why I know it and how I knew it, and I used to be you, and you need to free yourself. Be free, okay? So that's what we're going to kind of work into it, and hopefully that'll help your attendance. It seems like, really, are you guys doing well? You got it covered?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're doing real well. We're way excited.
All right, very cool. All right, we'll be right back.
Raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vigati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You know the U.S. dollar is devaluing. You can see it happening every day. You know a new currency will take over at some point. Wouldn't you like to be in on the ground floor? Bitcoins. They're a decentralized, anonymous internet currency. They're free to use, free to accept, and free from inflation forever. You can use them anywhere in the world. Find out more at weusecoins.org. Don't be kicking yourself in the pants in a month. Your dollars are going down. Learn more about Bitcoins at weusecoins.org. That's weusecoins.org. DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.lrn.fm. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit the Liberty Radio Network when you shop at Amazon via shop.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
Immigrating to the Shire was easy. I was instantly plugged into a community of individuals who also care about peace, liberty, and justice, and are willing to do something about it.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock. To be a part of the show, call 602-264-2800.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona. I am from the BEA beautiful studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com. It's very nice here, very nice. How's the weather in Odessa? Is it blowing? Is it cool? What kind of jacket should they be wearing, guys? They're going to be all right?
Yeah, it's beautiful today. It's beautiful today. We're expecting maybe a little bit of rain over the weekend, but it's the desert. It never rains, so I really wouldn't worry about it.
All right, cool.
Highs in the 50s and 60s, lows in the high 30s, so it's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, that sounds very nice, very nice. Now, let's go back to Caleb. There's got to be, off the air we were talking real quick. I said, man, come up with this. There's a defining moment. There's always a defining moment. You know, I'm like, okay, I can't hold on to this anymore. I had a fellow talk show host, a friend of mine, Charles Goyette, always would, use the phrase cognitive dissonance. And that's like, big words for me, man. Where's the wiki, okay? Go look it up. And it was very, very simple. It's kind of like, where the phrase sour grapes comes from. The Aesop fable is that the fox is looking up on the vine. He can't quite reach the grapes, and he goes, I don't want them anyway. They're probably sour. Well, they are or not. We kind of rationalize that. Well, what we can't attain, we don't like anyway because we can't attain it, and it just kind of puts it in our head. But it's more deeper than that. Cognitive dissonance is when you have two opposing ideas in your head that you're holding on to, but they're in direct conflict with each other. It's like freedom is slavery. Slavery is freedom. War is good. These things that just can't compete. And at some point, you have to break it or you just go crazy. And I've known these people. They're crazy, okay? So choosing not to be crazy, you go, I'm making the break. And something had to happen. What was it?
For me, it was I was listening to our local morning radio, and a local patriot in Texas named Deborah Medina was running for governor against Rick Perry and Bill White, and she made the comment talking about our local Ector County Independent School District. She said, just what are they independent of? They are being dictated to by the TEA and ultimately the Department of Education. They can't do hardly anything without being told what to do. And that just caught my ear. I thought, you know what? This lady makes sense. As long as I can remember, government has never shrunk. It's been in control by the Republican side. It's been in control by the Democrat side, and it swings back and forth and back and forth. In every election cycle, all the politicians love to promise this and promise that and shrink government. And I asked myself, have you ever noticed government shrinking? And I haven't. There's always more laws.
Okay, now, during that campaign, as I recall, wasn't she the one that she, oh my goodness, didn't, just embrace the state's version of 9/11? And she goes, some questions, even a little bit of kind of maybe do an investigation, something. And didn't the media just hammer on her for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is my point. When someone comes out and they're looking for something, anything to hammer on them, and they chose 9/11 with her. And what kind of impact did that have on you when they did that?
A lot of the talk radio mafia lost me as a listener. If I ever do listen to them, it's just to sharpen my own skills to realize just how ridiculous they are.
Opposition research. I get it. This is, wow. Tell me, Ben. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you hear over and over and over and over. There's always something that brings someone around, and the curtain's pulled back. They see the wizard there, pulling switches. Hey, I'm not here. Pay no attention. And then how do you take advantage of that? How did you guys meet up? How are you working together on this event?
Well, over the internet is how we first met up. I think we were fighting. I don't remember what we had some sort of cause, and we met up. Also, we started a libertarian chapter here in Ector County, and we started working on this event together. But we've become good friends over the time. But that's the answer, is the internet. That's where you can research things without it being filtered to get to you. That's where you're going to discover anything.
Well, where's the change coming? Is it I got to go vote for it? I got to go through a government computer and they give me a number and say I win. I feel all better because I got, my guy in charge of the ring of power. I mean, is that the solution? I mean, what is the solution?
No, the solution is to come together as a community and solve your own problems without having to turn to Washington. I mean, that's how the Founding Fathers envisioned our government. They made it inefficient on purpose, so that communities would have to solve their social situations without turning to Big Daddy somewhere 3,000 miles away. It's not designed for that, and it doesn't do well in things of that nature. So we have duties as citizens of this country. To be a free human being means we've got to solve our own problems, and that's a lot of responsibility, but that's what liberty is. That's what freedom is. That's what being a free person is. That's
Odessa, though. Odessa. I mean, Odessa's out in the middle of, it's right in the middle of Odessa, okay? I mean, there's not a lot around. It takes days to drive across Texas. So I'm just wondering what the environment is, politically. Is Odessa kind of isolated there? Are you dealing on a state or county level? Or you're hoping to inspire? Why Odessa?
Well, we grew up in Odessa is why, but also because we're kind of an outpost. We've always been an outpost. We have a strong, healthy distrust for people coming in from the big cities 5 hours away from us in any direction and telling us how to conduct our own businesses. People around here have a very strong libertarian mindset, but they're not sure what libertarianism is. And that's why we wanted to bring a lot of these liberty-minded speakers out here. This is Bush country. This is neocon Bush country, but I think that's only because that's all they're aware of. The true, people trade things all the time here. There's certainly a strong sense of community. Business-to-business trades has always been a big thing around here. It's a libertarian community that's just not aware of it yet.
Silver dimes are coming your way. We're going to do this silver thing. John Bush has got you guys all hooked up. We're going to do that because I think they would understand more than anybody. But You make a point. LBJ, Democrat from Texas. You have Perry, Democrat. Bush, Democrat. Well, same thing. Don't matter. The one thing, but you got also Dr. Paul from Texas. Does that give him any street cred there in Texas?
Yeah, I think it does. I don't know. He's not really known as a Texas politician. But yeah, certainly. I mean, Texans will be the first ones to tell you that we like being from Texas. We're proud about Texas. It was its own country. We're all very quick to point these things out. So yeah, Ron Paul being from Texas, I think it helped him out tremendously at first. But now it's the message that's getting out.
Okay, this is something that, let's go back to Caleb. Caleb, I'm wanting to get an idea of Odessa. When you guys have this event, where will it have the most impact? I mean, around there would be on a city, a county, a state level. I mean, you're having fun. You got a lot of people that'll go. They really are like, wow, I get to Odessa? Okay, I'm in, man. I got 1,000 people here. Let's party me up and get me all learnified and everything. So when they are, what are they going to do with it? How are you going to make use of that? Or you just move on to something else? I mean, what's your goal?
Our goal is for anybody who desires to run for any political office to not maintain the status quo. If they want to introduce some type of legislation on the state level, it's be merely to repeal current laws. I hate to say it, but the fascists are just creeping in around here. You mentioned the oil drilling in Texas, and it's a huge economy. It's our bread and butter. I'm directly in the oil patch myself. I service drilling rigs, Caterpillar engine diesel engines on drilling rigs, and that's how I make my livelihood. However, these oil companies have slyly gotten the ear of the legislatures, and they're literally drilling less than 150 feet from people's houses. They're from their front door.
Yeah, my parents live in Decatur, which is just northwest of Fort Worth, and my sister, Decatur, Texas. And you go in the front yard of my parents, they got a fracking well right in front of them. I mean, right there. I hit it with a one wood. Hey, we'll talk about it and what the role of people play in all this when we come back in just a little bit. We know you're out there. We can feel you now. We know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. We don't know the future. We aren't here to tell you how this is going to end. We're here to tell you how it's going to begin. We're going back to editing the next edition of Freedom's Phoenix digital magazine now, where we are telling the people what you don't want them to know. We're showing them a world without you, a world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries, a world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice we leave to you. Subscribe at freedomsphoenixeasy.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenixeasy.com.
A Rasmussen poll reveals that nearly all American voters share a deep fear of botching another election, with most voters admitting that selecting candidates for public office is something they're historically just not particularly good at.
I really hope I don't completely fuck things up as usual, but you never know. Things do happen.
According to the poll, 3/4 of voters said Election Day panic would cause them to base their vote entirely on hearsay, while 93% acknowledged that they only recognized names of local candidates from signs along state highways. In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, stunned friends and acquaintances expressed shock and disbelief when a body found in the woods turned out not to be Justin. Local residents found the naked corpse draped over a tree stump Saturday, and as news spread, many found themselves struggling to comprehend how it wasn't Justin lying dead in the forest.
I heard the news, and I still can't come around to it. I just can't imagine that it's not Justin there lying dead in the woods. Are they absolutely sure it's not him?
Friends and family are still urging authorities to double-check the body, or at the very least, bring in Justin as a suspect.
This is the Onion News Network.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Did you know that you can listen to LRN.FM 24/7 via our free-to-air satellite channel? From Mexico to Canada, our signal covers nearly all of North America. All you need is a view of the southern sky, an affordable receiver, and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you're a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage map and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm.
What if the key to achieving liberty in your lifetime was to move together with others who think like you? Liberty activists are joining the Free State Project, which is over halfway to its goal of 20,000 participants. And they're already making the move to New Hampshire. The successes are piling up and are proving the Free State Project is a real movement and no longer just a great idea. When you're planning your move, consider Keene. Keene is famous for its civil disobedience and non-cooperation, and there's plenty of political opportunity as well. From demonstrations and vigils to outreach and volunteering, there's a lot going on in Keene. Keene is also the undisputed liberty media capital of the world, with television, talk radio, and more, all originating here. Though it's more than just activism, with regular social events each week. See what's happening at freekeene.com and get connected with video, audio, free books, a forum, and activist tools you can download and use in your area at freekeene.com. That's freekeene.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Freedom is the answer. What's the question?
I want to break free.
You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
I want to break free. I want to break free from your lies.
Yeah, I want to break free from your lies. Yep. And that's what they're doing in Odessa with LibertyFestWest.com. Now, I got on the air with me Ben Farmer and Caleb Leverett. Now, Caleb was just starting to get into, people come to this fest, and the people that are getting involved in Odessa and the West Texas area. It's for a reason. We're going to go save the planet, do something. We're not wasting our time twiddling our thumbs. We want to survive and thrive in the economic melee that be a coming. Oh yeah, and it be a coming. Okay, FYI. Now that helps the oil industry. Because sooner or later, inflation's going to hit. They're going to go, you know what? Energy be costing mo. Well, it looks like it might be $5 a gallon of gas coming up. Is that kind of what they're predicting there, Caleb? $5 a gallon seem realistic?
I don't pay attention to that as per se, but I mean, obviously inflation is coming. The great correction is coming.
So how are you using, I'll give you an example. In 2001, we started a thing called the Freedom Summit. Now, every year we had, Dr. Paul spoken at 3 of them, okay? We had a lot of the big boys, Lou Rockwell and Walter Block, Jacob Hornberger, and, on and on and on and on and on. Just a lot of great speakers. Butler Hornberger, who am I saying? Butler Schaefer is who I was trying to say. Now, so these guys have been a regular at the Freedom Summit warning what was coming. They were going, look, all our friends, everybody from 2001 said, look, here it comes. Get ready. Prepare thyself. 2008 election cycle, we did 1 or 2 more summits, after that. We kind of taken a break because we don't have to tell people what's coming. It's here. So here we have Liberty Fest West saying, yeah, it's here. Here we go. Now we're going to do something else. And you started to talk about that, what you were hoping they would do in politics and social life and how they're living something. Because we know a lot of people in West Texas and Texas area, they're just, we're just getting off grid. We're learning to barter. We're learning to trade in silver and chicken eggs and whatever. So I'm going, you're looking and hopefully having people to manifest their understanding and awareness to what? What are you hoping to accomplish?
To realize that people are able, if they're left alone, to take care of themselves, to freely trade with other people without having government regulations. The FDA is a fine example of Sheriff Mack has been a huge proponent of going after those unconstitutional entities that are messing with these small farmers. My parents have a small farm. It's probably just a matter of time. They're going to go after them. They have eggs and milk cows and milk goats. There's babies that are lactose intolerant, and the mothers choose to have a non-FDA, non-pasteurized, healthy milk for their babies. And the people that come to Liberty Fest, I've personally invited Sheriff Mark Donaldson of Ector County to come to be here to hear not just all the speakers, but Sheriff Mack's message in particular. I've invited the Midland County Sheriff, Sheriff Gary Painter, in person to bring him, and bought their tickets myself. I wished I could afford to get all of the city council and the county commissioners. I wish I could afford that. I just can't. But I hope they show up to this and realize people are tired of being told what to do. Even though some of them go to government to fix their problems, such as the ban on texting while driving, that's not going to fix things.
Well, this a noble cause. Let's go ahead and try and just expressing the idea that people can take care of themselves has benefit right there. Ben, help me out here, man. I mean, there's a future of this. You're going to be already planning the next one. You're going to keep it in Odessa. You're hoping to gather the forces after they've been educated to do what? I mean, the goal of this is, of course, having 1,000 people and covering your costs, and oh my goodness, you might even make money, doesn't suck. But this is has legs. There's something you're planning. What's going on?
Yeah, we don't expect to make any money off of this, but it would be nice if it does happen. But yes, we have very, very big plans coming up for the summer. I'm not quite ready to reveal those yet, but when we want to release that, I'll certainly send you an email, and maybe you'll have us back on your show to talk about that further. But yes, expect big things for this summer. That's all I want to say right now.
Okay, you're gonna leave us hanging. That's good. All right. You want to play that way? Let's go ahead and dwell on this a little bit, though. The people that have supported, helped with this project, been around it, going. You probably have people want to trade out a little bit to do a little work and sit there and take tickets and do it. And the people that are supportive of this are who? I mean, are they in on the plan? Do they know what's coming? Are they, willing to put forth the extra volunteer effort to make a success past this event? Who are your core supporters?
Sure. We have a lot of students for Ron Paul. They're a huge supporters of us. There's a group called Texans for Accountable Government that's been tremendously helpful. And all of our speakers themselves have been very, very helpful. Boosting the information on their website and saying Liberty Fest West every chance they got. Everyone involved in this project has just been tremendously helpful. So I encourage you, if you have a community that you want to see this happen, just make it happen. Everyone is very, very helpful. It's really not as difficult as it sounds. Call them, invite them, set up some hotel rooms for them, and see what happens.
Okay,
it'll take off.
Let me ask you this question. You can help me out. The people that are participating, that are in this, are they because from your speakers, I know it's a wide range right there. There are people that Sheriff Mack I know well. He is, man, we're going to use this Constitution and the position of sheriff, and you're going to give him what for. We're going to use the system inside the system. Then you have people like Catherine Blyche and John Bush are like, you're in the system. You guys are still voting. I mean, and then you have other people that are, and Jordan, he's out there just advocating with his music, the ability to just be inspired and understand what's going on. And I know a lot of these people, they overlap in a lot of areas of the first thing is what's happened with Caleb. That you be aware, that you understand what's going on. What happens after that, it's almost like a personal opinion, but it doesn't even matter if you don't understand what the heck's going on. So do these people, are they all understanding? I mean, do they get it? I mean, because a lot of people in the movement, they go, yeah, I like you hear in the ads for the Free State Project. Hey, I came here where people get it. Get what? What is it that you think that they're going to get, that they should get to join your group or organization or be supportive? What do they need to get?
Well, what it is that we're not all going to agree on 100% of our own personal issues. But what we are going to agree on is that we can come together and not force each other to believe in what we believe. Just it's about not using force to make other people agree with us. Yes, do our speakers get it? 100% of them do. So yes, we're not all going to agree, but we're okay with that. That's what being a free person is.
Does he ask you, Caleb, when you have people that are supporting you, that you start to hang out with, you do a little activism with, you have in your off time once a week you're kind of hanging out with, and they get it. How would you define that? When you go someone, do they get it? Us, when you say, yeah, he gets it. Well, we kind of know what that means. What does that mean to you?
Once you do, like you said, once you do get it, you can hear anybody talk. If they're doing the normal Limbaugh Levin talking points, it's so easy to hear. You just pick right up on it immediately. Then you hear, if you're talking with someone like me or Ben or our friends who we talk about liberty and freedom and the freedom to live without an intrusive, and as Ben says, a forceful government. You pick up on that real easy, and people have actually started calling me, asking my opinion on, like, if I saw the debates or a commercial, and what does he mean? What is it? What do you think of that? And I'm flattered and humbled by it, but once you see through the puppeteers, once you learn, it's like riding a bike. Once you learn how, it's really not hard at all. It's easy.
I'm so glad that you have spent this time with us and been able to articulate that, because you're not the only one. This happens to a lot of people. If they haven't already gone through this, they're going to. And if they don't, well, they're going to watch it from the sidelines as the economy just passes them by, and they're waiting for their government handout that don't be a coming. And when it is, the dollar's so inflated it's not worth anything anyway. Yes, we're going to double your Social Security payment so you can buy a loaf of bread. This is it's baked in the cake. LibertyFestWest.com. Thanks to Ben Farmer and Caleb Leverett for coming on and sharing with us what's going on. Because, if you're anywhere near the area, go by. LibertyFestWest.com. Get your tickets. Hey, thanks, guys, for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay right there. I want to talk to you just a little bit. We'll be right back in the next hour.